All right, today we're going to look at how to put the cleats into the new Simms G4 Powerlock boots.
That's a big brown.
All right, this year Simms has come out with a new version of the G4 boots. This is, at least in the fly fishing world, I think one of the first attempts at, let's just call it closely resembling the way golf cleats work, with these cleat inserts. So when you buy the boots, they come with these plastic inserts that are already set inside of the boots. And what that will allow you to do is you can remove those plastic cleats and put in the aluminum cleats, which are going to be the ones you want for rough and tumble stuff in the water and what have you. So one challenge with any boot that has cleats on it is getting them in and out. If you don't want to have 2 or 3 pairs of boots, for instance, you're going to go on a boat, you would obviously want the plastic cleats in there. If you're going to go climbing through some rivers and things that have uneven surfaces and you need some traction, that's where these aluminum little cleats will come in handy. So there is a little bit of a trick to getting these cleats in and out. So let's talk about those and I'll show you how this all works. All right, so first thing we're going to do is with the boot purchase, you have a little wrench that has 2 sizes of cleat, we'll call it ratchet or whatever. So the smaller one is for the plastic cleats that we're going to remove, which you could also use to put them in when you want to go back to those. And then the bigger one is for the aluminum cleats that we're going to put in. Now, I will say I found this to be an easier task if you are seated and you put the boot between your leg or between your legs and use that to hold them. That way you can use 2 hands to manipulate the cleats in and out. I've done this a few times, and so I've been able to do it without doing that. But you always want to use 2 hands, and you need to lock these to kind of get this so it won't rotate around and be squirrely on you. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take my small cleat wrench. And this you want so that the handle is upward at an angle. And these are just your same lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, whatever. Counterclockwise to pull them out, clockwise to push them in. So it's very simple to see how these the wrench sits down over the cleat. And what I found to do, I need to push and hold the cleat to the wrench, or hold the wrench to the cleat with a fair bit of force. And then I'm going to go ahead and rotate that counterclockwise, and that will pop out. So now I've got my plastic cleat out. Pro tip here, don't ever use these boots without either of the cleats in. So you do not want this just being out there in the open. It will fill up with gunk and it will become damaged. So always have something in its place as you are out walking around. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and grab the aluminum cleat. And this is probably the trickiest part of it. And this is the way I found to be the easiest to understand. And I think there's probably a common mistake that people are going to make with these. So this is kind of a 3-step process. So first off, I'm going to take the cleat and just, as level as I can, I want to seat the cleat into the receptacle by simply putting it in there and very lightly turning it until it starts to grab. So that's step 1. And I haven't tightened it. I've just come to that point where it's going to grab. Now from this point, there's going to be 2 other little points that we need to hit to get this to lock securely. Big thing to keep in mind as we put our large wrench piece and down on this, you can see where the little arrows line up. This needs to make it all the way to about right here. So 150 degrees of rotation in order to get this to lock securely. But what's going to happen is that about 30 to 50 degrees into this, it's going to hit a little latch point. Then it needs to go an additional 100 or 90 degrees beyond that. So that's the second and third step. So I'm going to do the first little click. So it's now in there and it's kind of stopped at that point. Okay. Now keep in mind, I need this to be about 150 degrees from the starting point. And then I'll just continue to turn that, and you'll feel it stop. And then we are at the about 150 degrees. So that thing is locked in there. You don't want to over tighten these because it could damage them. There are plastic in there in the receptacle. So once I've got it on there, I just kind of like to give it a little extra tug to make sure, not overdoing it. And then when you want to take these out, it's just the reverse process. You would stick your wrench back on there. And this time you really don't have to worry about the starting point so much because it will come out. So we're going to go back the other direction. And I felt that first point all the way back around. Oop, let it off. And then it will pop right back off. We get our plastic piece. And it's really the same process there too. It's gotten some bite. Go ahead and put my wrench in there, and that kind of clicked, and now all the rest of the way, and we're back to the same status we were. Anyway, so that's how you put the cleats in and out. Nice thing about these aluminum guys, they will eventually wear off. You can get replacements for them. So that makes it easy that you can have a pair of boots that kind of serves both purposes, out and about, walking around, or on the boat or other surfaces that you don't want to damage with your boots. So give those a try. We do have them listed on our website at flyfishfood.com, link below.